Hello, folks, and welcome back to the episode breakdown. Today, we're covering the history of Trunks. So, this isn't, it's really not that big, right? 25 minutes, what is that? What even is that? It's the longest piece of abridged material we've ever put out, and yeah, it required some huge edits, including the use of 3D modeling, and yeah, maybe the video was so huge I was over half a month over the original scheduled date. Jesus Christ, this was a fucking journey. Oh well, let's get started then, kids. We're gonna be here a while. However, I'm going to start this special off with a new format. I'll be covering certain aspects of the editing process in different sections. And to start us off, lip flaps. We jump right into the hard stuff at the beginning too, with this shot of Bulma here. See, this shot is originally panning with a moving background and a looping animation over the top of it. Of course, I'd be insane to try and use this shot. Except that it was the only shot I had to use, and I'm insane. So there are 5 layers here. The track on the bottom is a still frame. The second layer is the shot set on a track to move opposite of the original pan, with the crop on the right side slowly moving left. The third layer is a panning shot of the right side of the frame implemented to make up for the static visual under it. The last 2 layers are the appropriate lip flaps. If that was hard to follow, I apologize for my lack of ability to properly communicate the intricate details at play, but trust me, it ain't easy. In this scene with Trunks here, I actually had to take his flaps from this shot, then resize and move them for this shot. This shot of Gohan, completely new flaps drawn by me. And the flaps here are actually from another shot altogether, as Gohan does not originally talk in this shot. I also ended up putting rice in his mouth here, as I wanted him speaking in the middle of eating. Also, small note, that bowl wasn't originally in the shot either. In this next scene, I animated Gohan's mouth here to have him talk to Trunks. Same thing here. Here, I turned Gohan's smile into a frown, as with this shot as well. Continuing the train of Gohan being incredibly difficult to work with, this shot has new lip flaps drawn by me. I also copy and paste his lip flaps from here to here for this shot, then pan as well. Finally, a character other than Gohan. Actually, for this shot, I had to implant all of 18, as she doesn't talk during this scene. Same with this scene, where I had to draw all new lip flaps for her. Here as well. Had to do the same for Bulma in this shot here. Now here, with 17, I can't quite remember where I pulled his lip flaps from, but they're definitely new. I also panned them and fiddled with the contrast and brightness settings as the dust cleared around him. Now, interestingly, this scene consisted entirely of me removing all of Trunks' lip flaps as he moved, either with creative zooming or animating his close flaps over shots of him talking. Next shot is 17 here. Just like with 18 earlier, I moved him to this frame, as he originally does not talk in this scene. I also drew new flaps for 18 here. I would continue to draw new flaps by animating both 17 and 18's mouth here in these shots. I also edited Trunks' lip flaps to cough in this shot as well. And now for one of the toughest edits in the entire special. I actually ended up editing lip flaps from another shot into the scene of Trunks punching both the androids, laying the frame of Trunks' hand over them as necessary. Now, this shot is fun, because I actually drew these flaps here, as well as changed Bulma's entire expression. Also, for Bulma here, I placed her lip flaps from this shot into this shot here. Lastly, I gave Puar new lip flaps for this shot, as well as creatively edited Oolong's lip flaps so he could talk in this shot. Whew, glad that's over with. Thanks for joining for another... Oh wait, we just covered the lip flaps. We still have visual edits. Oh God. Okay, visual edits. Let's do this. Christ almighty. Alright, first thing I'll go over is the opening credits shot. The logo itself, including the time machine-shaped clock, sword clock hand, and text, were all drawn by Austin Rains, a longtime artist for the series. He designs most of our t-shirts, actually. I animated it all in Premiere and After Effects. Now, let's take a look at this shot at the beginning. Nothing weird, right? There's Yajirobe, Bulma, Tenshinhan, Chaozu, Piccolo, I think I even see Krillin. But wait, what did this original shot look like? Huh, there's Yamcha. That's weird. Does that happen again? I don't know, let's look at this shot. Now the original, well, I'll be damned. Yamcha has been edited out of both these shots. But why would I... Oh, alright. Because in this timeline... Well, moving on. The next shot we have is of Trunks flying here. This was actually due to the fact that the original moving background just didn't last long enough and it didn't loop. So I had to improvise by replacing it with another sky background. The next big edit was on Gohan here. I had to make Gohan blink so I could change his expression naturally, as you can see here. Oh hey look, it's Orpheus Jr. A lot of people probably missed that, but he's there. In this scene with Chi-Chi, I subtly animated the table shaking as she slams her hand down. Next scene, I edited Gohan's eyes to be looking down for this shot here. Later on, I have Trunks vomiting after his second failed attempt at going Super Saiyan. Next noticeable edit was making Gohan's eyes move here. Now, this next edit is a simple one. See this pan of the building that 17 falls through? Well, I was hoping I could slow it down as to provide Android 17 some comedic foley of him crashing downward. So I brought it into Photoshop, made one long frame of the building, then panned it at my own pace. Oh, and see this shot of Gohan? Yeah, it was actually from later in the fight and he was battle damaged. But I couldn't have that, so... Now, for one of the biggest visual edits in the entire series of DBZ Abridged. For this small shot that most people have kind of ignored. This Capsule Corp ship is actually a 3D model made by Mark Swint, otherwise known as The Engineer, a terrific artist and, as of recently, 3D modeler and animator. He actually made both this model and the model for the ending credits. Much love goes out to him for supplying these wonderful assets. The next big visual edit is this shot of Bulma's arm. Originally, she was handing Trunks the medicine, but I'd already had that exchange happen, so her keeping her arm out didn't make sense. So I moved it. I also added a small blush to Trunks in this shot. The last two visual edits in this special, outside the credit sequence, consist of me fading the time machine out, a la the TARDIS, and the USS Medic on the side of the submarine. How about that fucking credit sequence though, am I right? Christmas critters, look at that sumbitch. By the time this is posted, we should have the whole thing up clean and widescreen like God intended. Thank you, Moscow X, for taking Mark Swint's model and then animating it beautifully over a from-scratch wormhole. You're a god among men. Thanks to our regular composer for the series, Ein Sofa for the composition as well. A Cha-La Doctor Who theme mashup. And that's it! Thank you all again for joining me. Oh, come on! Fun facts? We're doing fun facts? Fine, I got some fun facts. Okay. Fun fact? The casting process for Gohan was huge. At least over 10 people auditioned for him, including Gan Xingba, Lanny Bator, Taxassist, Nate from Nate Wants to Battle, and more. Oh, hey, it's TJ and the Wombat. Glad to have him back. Funny enough, we actually rewrote a lot of our initial version of the script, and they were one of the first jokes we wrote during the rewrite. Oh, and that female moan there? That's actually Amber Lee Connors, aka Android 18. Sorry, I had to. Also, in this scene, there's a little bit of Foley from Jesse Nowak, otherwise known as Nowacking. Here it is in full.
No, I'm just saying, because last night I got super baked and all I could think about was if zebras were black with white stripes or white with black stripes, and even now I think it's a pretty good question.
Now, here's one that might make people a little uncomfortable. You know that scene where Bulma propositions Gohan for his
Mr. Gohan Wood?
Well, let's just say that there was a small consideration about whether or not we'd have them go all the way, as it were. Personally, we're all glad we avoided that angle. But just imagine, in an alternate universe.
Right there, yes!
Masenko!
This special is jam-packed, full of references to older Piccolo stuff. But one of my favorites? This shot here. It's the callbackiest of callbacks. And the people who have gotten it make me quite happy. Anyone notice all the musical references, by the way? Half the music in the special is Doctor Who music. But this scene actually has the Guardia Millennial Festival theme from Chrono Trigger, a subtle connection to Akira Toriyama, who was the character and setting designer for the game. Lastly, this explosion here, from the Boo Saga. Yeah, I know, it's kind of cheating, hush. Okay, is that it? Are we done? Like, for realsies? Oh, thank you, God. And thank you for joining me for another episode breakdown. Did you know we have a brand new shirt design out? It's our April Fool's limited run shirt, and we're overly enthusiastic about it. I feel dirty about that. Anyway, please do check it out, along with our new Dragon Ball Xenoverse Let's Plays. Follow the adventures of Dumplin'. And now, if you don't mind, I'm back to work on episode 47. Auf Wiedersehen!